Double good. Double good.
We're bumping up the nutrition density of this recipe by adding more protein, calcium into this dessert through the tofu and also introducing plant proteins.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us on One Meal Fits All for Busy Moms.
Do you ever feel like your kids are constantly asking you for dessert night? I do. Tonight, hopefully, we'll share with you a little recipe that's quick and easy to make that your family can enjoy too. My name is Angel, and I've been a dietitian since 2012. This video is for general information only and not to replace any advice from your own healthcare provider. So today I've got my little helpers with me to recreate a recipe that I haven't actually done chocolate mousse for about 13 or 14 years. It was before I had kids, so it's all kind of fuzzy. But I was at this Dietitians of Canada conference where I got to attend a live cooking workshop. And at that workshop, I was taught how to make this super delicious chocolate mousse that was so creamy. And I couldn't even believe what the secret ingredient was. So hopefully today, with that secret ingredient, you'll have a little bit of less guilt, if you ever have it, with allowing your kids to have a bit of a dessert night. And hopefully your kids will feel the same way about what you create. Now, I do want to make sure that I modify this recipe for you because in your household, maybe like mine, you've got adults and you've got kids. Maybe you've got a 6 to 12-month-old that you're caring for too that might be eyeballing what you guys are eating and wanting to share as well. So let me modify the recipe or teach you how to modify it for your baby after I make it for the adults and older kids in your life first, okay? So, without further ado, the secret ingredient is, this is where you can do the drum roll. Tofu. Silken tofu. Now, I don't know if the camera can capture this, but silken tofu can come in different formats. I've seen it in this kind of cube form, but it can also come in a tube, depending on your supermarket.
Weird.
It is weird, isn't it? You just have to look for the word silken tofu. And one of the reasons why making this chocolate mousse with silken tofu would make it a little bit healthier, I would say that it adds to the nutrition density. Because what do you see here, Gogo? What does it contain?
5 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 0 grams of fiber, which is bad, 2.5 grams of fat, and 150 milligrams of potassium, 75 milligrams of calcium, and 0 milligrams of cholesterol, and 50 milligrams of sodium.
Thank you very much for that. He just got glasses, so clearly they work. And I just want you to know that sugar is not bad. There's no good or bad food, but certainly we do want to be mindful about how much we're adding.
Why is there so much sugar right there?
Well, because it's dessert, Gogo, and sugar's not bad. We just have to be mindful about how often we have it.
And there's salt in
There is salt, because it's going to make the chocolate a little bit sweeter later, too. So I guess
salt?
if you at the supermarket are looking at silken tofu, I would just encourage you to make sure that it's well sealed. So just like you're buying a canned good, the seal should be not broken, because if it is, then bacteria could go in. But as is, it's perfectly sealed, and so you don't have to worry that the germ seal has been compromised. It's fully pasteurized. So honestly, we can just peel this open and put it right into the food processor.
Can I peel it?
Sure, Molly. If you don't have a food processor, you can actually do this by hand. Some people have a hand blender. Some people just want to use a whisk. I just think that the food processor makes it a little bit easier. And it's a perfect kind of no cook, no dangerous blades, or no kind of risk, a very low risk recipe for you to involve your kids to cook with you. Because again, the more you cook with your kids, the more hopefully in the future they'll enjoy cooking as well. Oh, thanks, Mui. Okay, so great job getting a head start on that. Let's see. We're just, okay. So as you can see, that seal is really hard to open. They've tried. Now, what I'm gonna do is see if mommy can pull it, and if not, I'll just use a knife. So the silken tofu just looks right like this. And before I move forward, I'm just gonna set aside a little bit because I promise that I'm gonna show you how to modify it later. So I'm just gonna take a little bit out for my demo later on. Okay. Christian, do you wanna? Oh, and both of you? Okay. So now we've got this tofu package was about 450 grams. If yours is, I say minimum to put 300 grams of silken tofu, but silken tofu comes in different sizes, so don't fuss too much. Like one package, anywhere between 300 and 500 grams. It's okay. And in terms of chocolate chips, I'm choosing to use a semi-sweet chocolate chip, and I have, how much do we have left? Close to 1 cup. So we're gonna go with the flow and just put about all of it. Mama, do you want to? Yeah. All of it. Thank you. Now, we cannot just add the chocolate chips just like this. So we're gonna teach the kids that you can microwave chocolate chips, but you have to be careful. Okay. So I adjusted the microwave to 50% power, so it's lower in heat, and we're just gonna heat it at 30-second intervals. If you wanted to do the double boiler method, we could totally do that. But sometimes when cooking with kids, I don't really want them hovering over a gas stove, so the microwave is a nice workaround.
Press sensor reheat.
No, I pressed the power level 5. So, as you can see, cooking with kids can get them really, really excited. But while we're waiting for that to go, let's just see. We're just gonna stir this. It's a really warm dish, and some of the melting is beginning to happen. So we'll just show the camera here. We don't need it to be completely melted because there will be residual heat, but I think I'm just gonna go at least one more time in the 30-second range to heat that up. So as we're doing that, we can make some decisions because we're just blending everything together. You can choose, like I said earlier, to add some agave syrup. If you don't have agave syrup, maple syrup would be fine. It's just that you do not want to serve honey to babies. So if you're scared that you might accidentally forget, you don't want to put them at risk for something called infant botulism, which can occur if you give babies under 1 year old honey. You might want to just avoid using honey in your recipes in case you're afraid you're going to forget. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it up to the kids here. Do you guys want to add some agave? We can make it extra sweet. Okay, we'll just add a little bit then. Come on. What? No, you cannot lick it yet. Maybe I'll let you lick it when it's done. So, my son just said that it's hot, so Mumway, don't touch it. And it can be hot. So we do want to be extra careful when cooking with kids. And I'm really thankful that mine knew his limits, knew to come find me, so that he doesn't drop this and hurt his hand. So look at how smooth and creamy that cup of chocolate is. Delicious. So now we're just going to add this in. Add the melted chocolate in. Now at this point, like, I'm just trying to get all of it in, but if I don't get all of it in, I might have some very willing volunteers to help me lick this bowl. So it might not be the worst thing in the world if I'm not the most diligent on this. Am I right? Does anyone want to lick the bowl? Yes.
I want to lick the spoon.
So far, silken tofu, cup of melted chocolate, and then we added like 1 teaspoon of agave, that's optional. And this is sea salt, which is also optional. So we're just gonna add like a couple cracks of this, honestly not much, to bring out the flavor of the chocolate. And that is it. So we are just gonna close this up. Blend this until it's all smooth and comes together. So on mine, this is as far as it'll go. Okay, so we're gonna scrape down the side so we get all of that chocolatey goodness into this chocolate tofu mousse. And this is one of those recipes that not only is it no cook, you also can just eat it right away so that you can satisfy whoever's asking for dessert in your household and not make them wait so long for dessert night. Okay, so I've done the best I could, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just probably gonna blend it one more time. Okay, so now I'm pretty confident it's at that chocolatey, smooth chocolate mousse kind of consistency. So we won't know until we give it to the critics over here. So let me they won't mind using the same bowl. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna give you a little bit to try, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Try the chocolate mousse, Mumai. Mommy hasn't tasted this in about 13 years. It's really good. You can have one, Mumai. Just enjoy this. Yeah. So once again, we're bumping up the nutrition density of this recipe by adding more protein, calcium into this dessert through the tofu, and also introducing plant proteins to people who may not be familiar with plant proteins beyond sort of beans and lentils. So this is a very interesting way to do that. So now I promise to give you a modified version. Now, wherever possible, we try to use just the same ingredients for our babies out there who are 6 to 12 months old. So how are we going to modify this? Okay, firstly, there were only 4 ingredients. Again, a 6 to 12 month old, we would discourage using added sugars. So the chocolate, the agave, and even the salt, we would not use as much of so that your child can enjoy the natural flavors. But your 6-month-old who's started solids and who has already demonstrated an tolerance to soy, which is a common food allergen, you could honestly just scoop this up and give it to them. And how you can do that is one of 2 ways. If you so wanted to feed your baby, you can honestly just scoop the silken tofu just like that and obviously bring it to their mouth. If you're doing it for the very first time, however, you don't want to give so much. Like, this is a baby spoon. You would honestly just give a quarter of a baby spoon. That's super small amount if you're introducing this allergen for the very first time. After you give a quarter of the spoon, you wait for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and if there's no allergic reaction, you can move forward and offer more. And then if later on you progress to wanting your baby to try doing it on their own, you could actually just do this method where you're preloading a shorter spoon that they can grab on their own. You can preload the spoon with a small amount. So they've established tolerance. You can preload it, put it on their tray, and then they can choose to pick up the spoon and bring it into their mouth. So in that sense, while you guys, the adults and the older kids, are enjoying this, they can enjoy one ingredient from this dish as well. And so everybody can enjoy eating around the table and just chatting about it.
More?
You can have more, but after this video. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please watch another one, or you can also share it with another mom that's important to you and who you think would enjoy it as well. So one step at a time, moms. You got this. Yummy?
Yummy! Double good. Double good.